In the heart of Africa, nestled between rolling hills and ancient baobabs, lies the hidden valley of Njoro. This valley is a world of its own, home to a village of tiny people, none taller than a child's arm. They are a peaceful, joyful community, living their lives in harmony with the land. But their peaceful existence is watched over by a being of immense scale, a shadow that falls gently upon their homes. His name is Karu. Karu is a giant, a man towering over 20 feet tall. To the villagers, he is a figure of awe and reverence. No one knows where he came from. He simply appeared one day, a silent mountain of a man. In their whispers and fireside tales, they call him Mangu Makubwa, the great god. They believe he was sent from the heavens, a divine guardian to watch over them. And in many ways he is. Karu is a gentle soul. His days are spent in quiet service to the people of Njoro. With hands the size of their huts, he clears fallen trees that block their paths. He wades into the distant river, bringing back life-giving water in a single stride that would take a villager a full day to travel. He stands sentinel over their farms, his mere presence a deterrent to the wild beasts that roam the surrounding savanna. His movements are slow, deliberate, always careful not to disturb the fragile world beneath his feet. The children of the village are his only true companions. Unburdened by the awe and fear of their parents, they see only a kind friend. They scamper around his feet, their laughter like tiny bells. They climb onto his enormous boots and tell him stories of their day. Karu listens, a small, sad smile playing on his lips. He communicates with them through simple gestures, a gentle nod, a soft rumble from his chest that sounds like distant thunder. He is their protector, their playmate, their silent god. But deep inside his massive chest, a lonely heart beats. Karu is plagued by a question that echoes in the vast emptiness of his solitude. Who am I? He hears their prayers, their worship, and a profound sadness washes over him. He doesn't feel like a god. He feels different. He looks at his own hands, so capable of both creation and destruction, and wonders about his origins. Are there others like him somewhere out in the world? Or is he destined to be forever alone, a giant in a world of miniatures? This secret ache is a burden heavier than any tree he could lift. Then, the sky turns against Njoro. The rains stop. The sun beats down with merciless intensity, cracking the earth and withering the crops. The once lush valley turns brown and brittle. The river shrinks to a muddy trickle. Famine, a specter the villagers have not seen in generations, begins to stalk their tiny homes. Panic takes root in their hearts, growing faster than any crop ever did. Desperate, the village elder leads a procession to the base of the rock where Karu often sits. They fall to their knees, their small voices rising in a chorus of pleas, Mangu Makubwa. They cry, "Great God, we are suffering, the earth is dying. We beg you, call the rain from the sky. Bring back the water." They look up at him, their faces filled with a desperate, unwavering faith. Karu's heart breaks. He looks at the clear, cloudless sky, then back at the expectant faces below. He wishes with every fiber of his being that he could answer their prayers. He stands, stretches his arms towards the heavens, and lets out a deep, resonant cry, a sound of pure longing and helplessness. But nothing happens. The sky remains a cruel, empty blue. The sun continues its relentless assault. A week passes, then another. The drought tightens its grip. The villagers' faith begins to curdle. Fear, like a poison, seeps into their minds, replacing the worship that once filled their hearts. Whispers turn to loud accusations. He has lost his powers, some say, huddled in the shade of their wilting huts. He was never a god at all, others sneer. Just a freak of nature. We were fools to trust him. The children no longer play at his feet. They are pulled away by fearful parents, their curious glances now tinged with suspicion. The adoring prayers turn to resentful murmurs. When Karu brings the last dregs of water from the near-empty river, he is met not with gratitude, but with sullen stares. The loneliness he has always felt now becomes a crushing isolation. The people he protected have turned on him. He is no longer their god. He is their scapegoat, the focus of all their fear and anger. It is at this moment of peak tension that they arrive. A band of outsiders, men of normal human size, march into the valley. They are rough, heavily armed, and their eyes gleam with a disturbing mix of greed and ambition. They are led by a man with a scarred face and a cunning smile named Jabari. He carries an old leather-bound book. Jabari gathers the frightened villagers. "We have heard your stories of a giant," he announces, his voice booming over the tiny crowd. "You call him a god, but we know the truth." He opens the book, pointing to a faded illustration of a giant, much like Karu, shackled and displayed in a grand arena. "He is not a god," Jabari declares. "He is a creature of legend, a Jichu, the last of his kind." "And his kind," he adds with a chilling smile, "is worth a fortune to collectors in faraway lands." The outsiders' plan is clear. They have come to capture Karu. They see him not as a person, but as a prize, a commodity to be caged and sold. They begin setting up enormous nets and heavy iron chains, their preparations a brutal spectacle of impending violence. The villagers are torn. Their fear of the drought is now mixed with a new fear of these aggressive strangers. Some, in their bitterness, see this as a way to be rid of the false god who failed them. Others feel a pang of guilt, remembering the gentle giant who had only ever shown them kindness. Karu watches from his perch on the hill, his heart a storm of conflicting emotions. He understands now. He is not a god. He is simply the last of a forgotten race, a living relic. The outsider's words, though cruel, have given him a piece of the identity he has always craved, even if it is a tragic one. He has a choice to make, a choice that will define his very existence. He could run. He could easily escape over the mountains, disappear into the vast wilderness, and save himself from the chains and the cage that await him. He owes nothing to the people who have abandoned him, who now look at him with hatred. Or he could stay. He could stay and fight. Not for their worship, not to prove he is a god, but to protect the only home he has ever known. To protect the tiny, ungrateful people who live in it, and the innocent children who once called him a friend. He would have to fight the outsiders, men who see him as a monster to be captured. He would have to risk his freedom and his life for people who no longer believe in him. As the sun sets, casting long, menacing shadows across the valley, Karu rises to his full, towering height. The ground trembles slightly beneath his feet. He looks down at the village, a collection of fragile lights in the growing darkness. Then he turns his gaze to the camp of the outsiders, where the firelight glints off their weapons and their iron chains. A deep, determined rumble escapes his throat. The choice has been made. The gentle giant of Njoro Valley is about to show them all what he is truly made of. Thanks for watching. If you were moved by Karu's story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic tales from around the world. We'll see you in the next one.